This podcast one day, just have the faith that one day it's going to really, really take off and we're going to do a live show and you will be Glinda, honey.
Oh, and in full garb.
I know.
Plastic surgery.
I know.
People will be worried.
I know. I'm Haley Griswold.
And I'm Jake Deaton.
And this is The Lost Lore. You never told me that. Sweet 16.
'Cause when you're 16.
Before we even get into the topic, I have to tell you about this new bit that Davis and I are doing.
Tell me.
When I say Southern man, I don't want you picturing like a little Leslie Jordan just because I'm short and I'm a girl. This impersonation character person that I've developed, he's like a Southern man that you'd see at a Love's truck stop.
Sure.
He's about to get back in the 18-wheeler.
Big boned, we'll say.
Yeah. And his
Beard.
job is either providing for the family or he could be committing several murders. I have no idea.
Or
but
both.
you know, I just want you to know
Sure.
the type of guy I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Now I want you to imagine that you just run into him at the truck stop. You guys get into kind of conversation and he says something like, Zach Brown is just reheating Jimmy Buffett's nachos. or man, when the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, I was like, Travis Kelce, get up off the floor, diva.
In an alternate universe, I'm sure that's happening.
Oh, in an alternate universe, he's sitting there talking about, I've cocked Jelly Roll's non-binary tea. Yes, I have.
You know, one of my favorite genres of Southern men that I feel like is dying out, I have like so many uncles that, you know, it's like, I feel like such a thing now with the masculinity to talk like this and really drop it low, and my older brother probably talks about an octave lower than his real voice. But I have a couple of great uncles that talk like this, and they're straight as an arrow, allegedly, but their voice sits up here, and they're like, well, hey, Jake, how you been?
I love these guys. Do you remember a lot about your 16th birthday?
I actually do remember everything about my 16th birthday.
I would love to hear about it.
It's like the only birthday party I really remember having, and it was a surprise party. It's the only surprise party I've ever had, too.
Oh my gosh, I've never had one either.
Well, it ended up not being much of a surprise because one of my good friends in high school was not invited to the party. And so my mom was like kind of, you know, the mastermind behind the whole thing, but she designated another friend to make the guest list. So this friend that was designated to make the guest list invited all of my close, dear friends. I would say acquaintances were even included. It was a big party, no Davis. But one of my genuinely good friends was left off the list because she had beef with the guy who made the guest list. And so this diva, talk about clocking some tea, she wanted to attend this party. It was, you know, sort of the event of the year, I think, was tossed around afterwards. She literally came up to me and was like, oh, I was so sad that I wasn't invited to your party. Oh no, I forgot. It was a surprise. And I was like, I can't even be mad at you. Like, you did what had to be done. She should have been on the guest list.
And she was, ultimately,
right?
She
was indeed.
16 was one of those that I was like, I think is going to be monumental. Like, that is the one when you're growing up. Before that, it's like 10.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you turn 10.
I cried when I turned 10.
I did too.
I was like, I'll never be a single digit again.
It hurts.
That's when I was like the sad gay boy looking into the well. Like, what kid is thinking, they're like, woo, 10. I was like, life is fleeting.
I've been crying on my birthday since then, too.
I'm a birthday crier.
Yes, I'm a birthday crier. And so for 16, especially as a girl, I know you didn't watch My Super Sweet 16 on MTV, did you? Okay, so the song I was singing at the top of the episode is a Hilary Duff song, and it's the theme song to the show My Super Sweet 16.
Was this like a Disney Channel show or like
no,
MTV?
This is MTV.
Okay.
Original series. My Super Sweet 16. You've never seen anything about this show? Okay.
Well, I think I kind of culturally know about it. They threw a huge party, right?
A huge party, and they're like rich girls who are mean as shit. They're expecting a Lamborghini. They want like a really expensive dress. Their parents are renting out clubs for them. It's a huge bash. It's a really big deal, these parties. And obviously I knew I was never going to have My Super Sweet 16 party, but I did want to feel as important as those girls felt. And I mean, these girls would go the hell off. These girls would literally be like, fuck you, Mom! I'm gonna beat your fucking ass,
Because they got like
Mom!
the yellow Lamborghini instead of the red.
Oh no, they're like, because why did you get me a fucking Lexus, bitch?
Well, I'd be mad too.
And then the other show that had me really excited to turn 16 was also an MTV original.
Oh, To Catch a Predator.
I was like, I'm gonna be one of those girls who's incognito, get some. It was 16 and pregnant. Because that one was like, obviously.
I was about to say, when you said I wanted the same amount of attention, I was like, well, there's another method you could have used.
But my mom had already done that. I was like, come on, I
Tired,
have to kind of, exactly,
played out.
Right. Talk about reheating nachos. So I was like, I'm going to make it out of teen motherhood. 16 and pregnant was another one of like, obviously I wasn't watching that show being like, you guys are my heroes, although they were in some ways, but not for the like pregnancy aspect. But it was that thing of like, it just made you realize like 16 is like, I can start making some choices.
Yeah.
My life can change when I'm 16.
It feels adult, weirdly, in some ways more than 18, I feel like.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Like 16 is just such a milestone. Okay, isn't North Carolina's law weird about driving? Like, isn't it like you guys get your permit and your license early?
Well, I think they're all just different. So, like, some states are like North Carolina. I think Florida, to me, seemed weird because it was so late. We got our permits at 15.
Us too.
And then got our license at 16.
Us too.
So it's the same.
So South Carolina, I think, starts earlier.
12.
Isn't it?
Womb.
Isn't it genuinely like 14? Because my friend Juliana...
They're in driver's ed and daycare.
My friend moved there... And she was driving like at 15 and I was like, where are your parents? Like, you cannot drive.
That seems dangerous.
I know, it does. And honestly, 16 now, looking back, I'm like, who's letting these bitches drive?
I think about this all the time. Like, when you are 16, you're like, I'm an adult. I could have a baby right now. I could like run a business.
You're like, give me the fucking keys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you're looking back at when you're pushing 30, I'm like, no, you ain't.
No,
the perspective change is so severe.
Massive.
Watching the old Disney movies when they're like, Daddy, I'm 14 now. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, literally, go to your room. I feel the same exact way. Hey, Diva.
Hey, Divalicious.
She's so cute. For the listeners, I don't know if we've actually ever auditorily explained that your cat Fiero, the boy one,
is a producer.
Is often here producing the show. He is out on business.
His sister Elfie is stepping in.
She's stepping in and she is stepping out.
Everyone probably thinks that they're named after the fucking movie. They've been named Elfie and Fiero for years. Let's have it on the record.
My 16th birthday, the bigger thing than a party was I ended up having like a dinner at this Italian restaurant. Ooh. You know, when you're in a moment that's like, this will stay with me.
The moment I knew.
The moment I knew.
Red.
Yeah, sure. You know how parents are. They don't get it. When the party's over, the party's over. I don't care if you paid for this dinner. Like, when everyone's done eating, we should leave. Why are we still here? But instead, no, we're going to shut the place down, I guess. So we're just sitting here. And a girl told me that she was really bored. And I was like, it would be so cool if any of the 15 of you who do have a car would run me the fuck over.
That's awful.
Actually,
are you still
all
friends
of
with
you
her?
over. No. I mean, I sometimes get a notification that she posted a story on Snapchat, so she's still doing that. But I have the app. So no judgment, okay? Okay. But the bigger thing was that I was in a play at my high school at the time, and the play was starting on my birthday night.
That's fun.
And at the beginning of the play, I am like a young girl and I kiss my best friend, Dylan.
Oh my God. Had you had a first kiss at that point?
No. And I was so nervous. And I remember that I was backstage before the play.
Wow, your first kiss on your birthday.
And it was my birthday, and it was my 16th birthday. My whole family's in the front row. I'm so scared. And I remember right before we went out, Dylan pulled me aside and almost kind of what the play did, just quickly gave me a kiss and was like, your first kiss ain't going to be in front of everybody.
Aww, so then Dylan!
Davis is rolling his eyes.
That's sweet.
So we had a little kiss. Then on stage...
Then one thing led to another backstage. And we were on 16 pregnant that year.
That was my 16th birthday. And no car, of course.
Mine was at, we rented the fire department. I think
What?
we probably had like maybe 20 or 30 people.
Wait, you rented the
This
fire
was like
department?
I mean, you have to also remember that there are no event spaces in Bakersville, North Carolina.
So
it was the fire department or the Walmart parking lot.
So crazy.
Halsey was already playing the parking lot, so we needed a different venue. No shade, I love Halsey. It was just the first name that came to mind. And notice it came to mind. Household name. But anyway, so it was at the fire department, and I remember my mom had a cake made, and it was one of those awful, atrocious fondant cakes that taste like shit. Nobody wants to eat it.
My mom did one of those for me too. Wait, what was the theme of yours?
iPads.
Oh, yeah,
it was.
That's so cute.
I was a tech bro at the time. It was Apple products, like stacked on top of of each other. And I used to be such an Apple fanboy. I can't remember if I've mentioned this on the pod before. I used to send Steve Jobs emails. He had like a public email address, and I would email him, and he used to respond to people. Like, I remember reading his responses to other people online, and I'd be like, why the fuck isn't he responding to me? And I basically was asking, what classes should I take in high school to work at Apple? Yeah, I'm sure there was a class in Mitchell County, North Carolina that I could have taken to prepare me to work at Apple coding. So I was at the fire department. And it was just, the classic.
I love you calling this the event of the year and saying 20 or 30 people were there. Because when I'm talking about my super sweet 16, Jake, blowout.
Really?
They are seriously, when you said like the fire department, it would have been a fire hazard. These girls were throwing parties.
Like hotels,
clubs and hotel ballrooms.
Were they
and
drinking
stuff.
and stuff?
I don't know.
I'm sure they were, even if it wasn't shown on TV.
Right. They can't show that on MTV.
Did you? You didn't drink in high school at all, right?
No, not really.
Me either.
I mean, not really, as in not at all.
Not at all.
No.
We just did Coke.
What was the food besides the cake?
Like chips, just
not even a pizza.
Those shitty plastic tablecloths, just like very, very old school birthday party. We may have had a little music. I think to show you like how podunk small town, the track team had been off at like a meet, and the bus came directly to the party. They were just like, we'll just drop him off at the big birthday party. Davis was home alone, had a date with Jill. Happy payday to you. Haley, do you know what I want for my birthday this year?
What's that, King?
I want the love and support of our loyal fans to go and join us over on our Patreon. But really, it's a gift for them.
It's their gift, isn't it? It's the gift.
The best gift is giving.
And it is. And
we're giving.
And we are givers, are we not?
We are.
But we would also like to receive a monthly payment of $3 from you. In exchange, you'll get full video episodes every week, plus some bonus content, things that we cut from the episode, things we don't want our family and friends to hear because it may offend them.
I also honestly think that the video podcast alone justifies the price. Like, there's so much visual humor in this show. Like, it really elevates the experience. And if you can't afford the $3, there are other ways you can support the show. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Please leave us an actual written review on Apple Podcasts. That really goes a long way. And follow us on all of our social media platforms.
Thank you so much. Sweet 16, but it only costs $3.
It's going to be a year that remains unnamed, the year that we turned 16. It was many moons ago. But I actually pulled up a list of, like, the top performing movies and songs of that year.
That's so funny you said this, because I was like, okay, what was the song that was the peak of popularity the week of your 16th birthday? Do you know what it was?
I actually don't know what that was for me.
I know what yours is.
Oh, do you know
I don't know mine.
Ooh, let me guess.
Okay, I know. I'm going to sing it for you.
Was it Call Me Maybe?
No.
Somebody that I used to know?
No.
What?
Tonight.
We are 16.
So I'm going to the fire department
without Davis. What was yours?
I didn't actually look mine up.
Really?
I got yours and I was like, that should be enough singing for the episode.
Do you want to hear what the top 10 songs were?
Yeah, I'd love to. But then look up what the top song December 2012 was.
Wait, let me check that first. Oh, yours is a good one, too.
What song was it?
Shine bright like a diamond.
Shine bright like a diamond.
And you did.
Yes,
in that Olive Garden.
Yes. I love that I said it was an Italian restaurant and you just say it's Olive Garden.
What else could it be?
It was called Mia's.
All right, these were the top 10 songs of the year that we turned 16.
Okay.
Somebody That I Used to Know, Gautier.
Yes.
Call Me Maybe, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Love.
We Are Young. Fun. Payphone, Maroon 5.
Love.
Lights, Ellie Goulding. I almost wrecked the car like 20 times. I got a car also. We'll circle back. But I almost wrecked my car 20 times because I had a little hand choreography that I did to Lights when she would say, lights, lights, in the song.
You want me to sing, lights, lights. Lights.
And I would let go of the wheel and dance. And so whoever was my passenger would always have to grab it.
I love it.
Glad You Came. I love that song. You didn't like it?
That's good.
Stronger, What Doesn't Kill You, Miss Clarkson.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know how true that is. I'm getting weak.
I'm getting weaker.
I'm getting weak.
We Found Love, which is probably my favorite Rihanna song. Starships. And What Makes You Beautiful. I found this out the other day. I wanted to do a whole One Direction episode because I'd have so much to say, and you weren't a Directioner, which I found shocking.
You do?
Yes.
Really think about me.
You loved Twilight. You loved Katy Perry, Taylor Swift. Like, I feel like we had a lot of crossover.
But my heart was full from another white international male. Justin Bieber did it for me. I didn't need 5 more or however many there were in that. Although recently I did go through and watch all of their auditions. And I think Niall Horan is one of the most entertaining.
I love him.
Amazing young men. Did you have any, or were there any other pieces of media or anything that really stuck with you?
Well, I also looked up the biggest movies.
Oh yeah, what were the biggest movies of that year?
Which is so weird to like look back at time this way, like and like because I remember like watching these things, you know, and like listening to the music. So the number one biggest movie, the year we turned 16, was the original Avengers movie, and I watched that in the theaters. That was the last Marvel movie that I watched in the theaters. Same. And I'll never watch another.
Same.
Then Skyfall, which I got a speeding ticket on the way to.
Never saw it.
I love that I saw like almost all of these in theaters.
I can't wait to hear if
The Dark Knight Rises.
Never saw.
Really?
No.
Oh my God. So that was the one that had the horrible shooting happen. Like I think opening night.
Yeah.
And I saw it maybe a week later. And in our theater, there was like some sort of heat problem with the power, and all the power went out in the middle of the screening. And I literally was like, we're going to die.
Yeah.
Like it was so scary.
That is really scary.
Then The Hobbit. An Unexpected Journey, which we may be delving in more into in a future episode, so I don't want to spoil anything. Ice Age, Continental Draft, didn't see that. The Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Part 2. Where were you when they started killing Carlisle Cullen?
I was sobbing
sobbing. This didn't happen. Yes. This didn't happen.
This didn't happen. This did not happen.
One of the Spider-Man movies, Madagascar, and a little film that someone on the couch may have been in. The Hunger Games was released the year that we turned 16.
Oh my God, you saw yourself on the big screen.
I did. That was a really amazing 16th birthday present.
That's amazing. Wait, have we talked about this on the podcast? Do you want to explain it to people?
You know, let me just say before we start.
Okay.
I don't talk about this much. Let me just suck my own dick for a second. There are many people that I have known for 5, 6, 7 years, and then I offhandedly will mention this. So I'm not a bragger, but since you've opened the door, I have told it like 20 times on TikTok. So
and like 500 times to me. But tell me something I don't know about this story, please. I'd love to. Genuinely.
So when we were 16, The Hunger Games was released, but the previous year is when we actually filmed it. And it weirdly was filmed in North Carolina. Like, how many movies are filmed in North Carolina? The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is like a specic scene in Forrest Gump that was about 10 seconds long. And Dirty Dancing, yeah. So probably the 3 greatest movies ever made. Let me shut myself up. But I remember that I got the book for Christmas that year, and there had been no buzz about a movie at all. I loved it. And my mom read an article that they were filming in North Carolina. There was this big open casting call down in Charlotte at a mall, and we went and stood in line, and the line, you know, was miles and miles long. Like, so many kids were in line. And we got kind of toward the front, and someone actually came and pulled my brother and myself out of the line, and they took us to another room, and they were like, you can fill out these pieces of paper. And I always say, like, we were malnourished, skinny, like destitute looking mountain children, and I think that is exactly the look they were going for. They were like, you look like you've been in a starving district for 16 years. And so they took down our information, and a couple of weeks later we got a call, and they asked us to go in for haircuts and go in for costuming. And I remember...
What were you feeling?
I was excited. Very excited.
But were you like, my dreams are about to come true?
Yes. Oh. We'll clock that to you in a minute. But it's actually so cringy now in hindsight. We got the haircut and I got the costume. I hated the costume. I was like, this is ugly as fuck. But I mean, that's kind of, I guess, what they were going for. Then we went to go shoot this thing, and it was the most secretive, scary. We stayed in, like, you know, those motels where your room exits to the outside.
Yes.
Like, that's where I'm like, we're really in like dangerous water here. And so I was there with my dad and my brother and my mom some days, because we shot it for a few days. Had a few call times. But they met us in a parking lot, and we all got on a bus with blacked out windows. It was so scary. I was like, we literally could be like, this could be anything. Like, they could literally be taking us.
A parent was with you at all times.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they drove us to set, and we waited around forever and like had this like big buffet of food. And we just sat in this tent. They scared us so much of having a phone. They were like, if we see you with a phone out, you will immediately be ejected. Like, nothing can leak. Of course, we were taking like whole photo shoots in the back when no one was looking.
I've seen your mom's Facebook album about this.
Who does that? We were so fucking stupid. But like, I could have missed the opportunity of a lifetime, because my mom was like, smile.
With your iPad, Tracy. Damn, girl.
Flash on. The shutter sound, clank. And I remember we were so tired. We had to get up at like 4 a.m. And I was missing my exams for this. I had to take makeup exams. And I remember we got moved to another holding facility. There were hundreds of kids. And I was like, this is such bullshit. Like, I could be done with my exams. I'm not going to be in this fucking movie. It's 100 degrees. I'm tired as fuck. Like, we were not friendly with anyone. It was just me and my brother, like, talking to each other. And then we got moved into the lots where we were filming. And there was a little blue cross next to my foot. And I was like, wonder what that is. And a few minutes later, Liam Hemsworth came in and stood on the cross. He was very handsome. And
did you speak to him?
Yes, for a long time. I didn't know he was Australian until he started talking, and I was like, oh, you're from Australia? That's so cool. And he was like talking to me about Australia. And it's the funniest thing about all this is that they're supposed to be organized by age. I look about 12. Liam Hemsworth looks like a 25-year-old man.
Yes.
And we're just having a conversation. He had an umbrella for the sun and he shared it with me. And we're just chatting, and he had a broken iPhone and he was texting Miley Cyrus, which I've never said on TikTok before. While we were talking, he is like texting back and forth with Miley Cyrus. And I was like watching, and it just said Miley, and I was like, Cyrus? And we had a great time, and at that point I was like, I'm glad I came. I think I might be in the movie. And we were back for days and days, and I got to work with the assistant director because they had to make sure I was in the same spot for continuity, and like how my hair was like falling the same way and everything. And when that was all over, months and months later, you know, it takes forever after shooting for a movie to come out. The first thing that came out was a photograph, a very famous photograph now of Liam Hemsworth in the Hunger Games it's as though it was taken of both of us. And I'm like in the dead center of the frame with him, and it was in Entertainment Weekly, and my mom showed it to me, and I excused myself. I went out to the garage, like kind of far away from the house. So I knew, point being, I wanted to make sure that I was alone. I turned off all the lights and I screamed, and then I played Lady Gaga's The Edge of Glory because I was like, I'm about to be famous!
That's so cute.
I was so excited.
I'm on the air.
I was literally in there like, this is the last night of your life being what you knew it to be. It's over now.
Oh, it's so cute.
The paparazzi will be here tomorrow.
That's so cute. That is what it feels like, I'm sure.
When I was 16, the movie came out, and they held a premiere in my like kind of hometown, or closest home city in Asheville.
No
and
way.
I was like a guest of honor. I was signing autographs.
What?
I had like a little table.
I did not know this.
I had my own
That's
table, and
amazing.
everyone who came to see the movie stopped at my table and got their poster signed.
Oh my god.
And then I had like a special seat.
That's amazing. And where was Luke?
Poor Luke. Well, let's throw that up. In that scene, you can see the edge of his chin. Like just a little sliver of his chin. And I remember my dad being like, maybe you'll be in behind the scenes. He wasn't. We looked.
That's an amazing story. Oh, you did it. You told me some stuff I didn't know. I love it.
We're literally Elphaba and Glinda right now. For the listeners, we're both wearing a happy birthday crown. Mine's green, yours is pink. But who do you think in our relationship is Elphaba and Glinda?
I'm definitely Elphaba. You're definitely Glinda.
Oh, you think? Toss.
I mean, don't you think?
I would give... I used to like literally go to bed at night and just like cry myself to sleep because I want to play a gender bent Wicked so badly because I want to be Glinda.
This podcast one day, I just have the faith that one day it's going to really, really take off, and we're going to do a live show and you will be Glinda, honey.
Oh, and in full garb.
I know.
Plastic surgery.
I know.
People will be worried.
I know. Okay, so tell me about getting the car.
I think we mentioned it on the show before, but my grandparents own a driver's ed company, so they have like this fleet of driver's ed cars. I know that sounds like a whole thing. We're buying the cheapest possible car. This ain't a fleet of...
I've seen you drive some cars with bags on the window.
This ain't a fleet of BMWs. This ain't a fleet of Audis.
Not
even a
Super
fleet
Sweet
of
16.
Toyotas. This is a fleet of car brands you've never heard of. And I remember I got like an old driver's ed car. Like, so the ones that my brother and I got for our birthdays were retired driver's ed cars. The cars we're buying are retired cars. And do you know where they come from? Car rental places. So after the car rental places, like, we can't use this anymore. We were like, we'll take it and we'll teach people how to drive in them. And then once those are dead, they're like, here, Jake and Luke. So I'm very thankful and grateful that I got a car for my birthday.
Love driving your Fonda.
I do want to reiterate that it was a piece of shit and it was the ugliest. And I
believe that 16-year-olds should have piece of shit cars.
I agree, but I wish mine was a little prettier. prettier. It was so ugly. My brother's was prettier, and I was like, you gave the gay one the ugly one?
What did you get?
It was some sort of old ass Chevy. We'll throw up a picture of me in front of it. It was like an old
Can I describe
car.
the picture? Because I've seen this picture.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Wasn't it like a
Tears
laundry day
eyes.
issue where you wore your mom's bedazzled jeans in this picture?
Am I wearing that in
you're
that
wearing
picture?
Your mom's
That's
pants,
a whole other story.
And you're wearing the flip flops.
My dad put up the laundry.
Barefoot.
My dad put up the laundry once, and when I tell this story, everyone's like, "Your parents put up your laundry?" Yeah, they did. And my dad put up the laundry once, and he put my mom's jeans in my closet, and I put them on, and I didn't think a second thought they were too short. I was like, "Ooh, capris, like new pair of pants."
I like the rhinestone ass.
And I wore them to school, and then
so
someone else realized at school, because I think I was like, my pockets are so shallow today. Like, this is so weird. But
you're so funny.
I know, I'm so oblivious.
You are so oblivious sometimes. It cracks me up.
But it was the ugliest car, and but I was grateful to have it, and I immediately.
What was the color? I see
maroon.
The picture of you with your first car. I only remember your outfit. It was maroon.
It was maroon, which now I would be more into because of the Taylor Swift song. But at the time, I was like, I can't imagine an uglier color. I couldn't imagine an uglier car. It looked like the sort of thing like a 90-year-old drives. Really? And yeah, it was. And it had like 100,000 miles, but I was very glad to have it. Just if mom and dad are listening, thank you. Better than nothing. I remember the first thing I did was throw a Barack Obama bumper sticker on the butt. Nice. And then a bunch of people vandalized my car in the school parking lot and wrote Obama sucks and drew elephants all over it with, I mean, it was erasable car paint, still. And the first thing that I then did, as soon as it came out, the first CD I ever owned, I drove my little ass to Walmart and I bought a copy of Red, and I stuck that in the CD player, and that's where it stayed for the next 2 years.
Nice. And Davis has told me about how he has like a permanent image of you in his mind of you driving with headphones on.
Oh my God. I used to like wear my corded headphones so I could sing in the car. Did you see me at like a red light? Is that where, was I singing?
Yes. Passing me in the left lane.
I think I'll try defying gravity. Just cars swerving all over the road. Just zoom.
And by the way, actually it is worth mentioning that you to this day drive like it's your 16th birthday. Like it's your first damn day on the road. Just completely
people to see.
Fearless, but
head
should
first,
be
fearless.
Head first fearless, and I am petrified. Yeah.
But I did enjoy having a car. Did you drive in high school? Because you did not have a car, right?
I did eventually, but not until.
Oh, what'd you get?
A PT loser.
No way.
Yes, they got a PT
Oh
loser.
my God.
And I literally drove that motherfucker, Jake, until
it's parked outside right now.
Fell off. I was driving. A wheel fell off
while driving
on a road, and I will never forget. A man drove up beside me and is like, roll your window down, and I'm like, yeah, what? I thought all that smoking was just like maybe I just passed the Taco Bell, thought maybe they were just frying something up, Cantina Taco Bell, what is it? He's like, your wheel's off your car. I pull into a Dollar General parking lot. He follows me. It ends up being my PAL soccer coach. PAL is like the city league soccer that you do when you're a kid. He was my old coach, and he was like, I know you. And I'm like, you just saved my life, mister.
Was the wheel off?
Like I had to walk and go roll the wheel.
Jesus.
I was riding it like a fucking tricycle. Yes.
Is that the only car you've ever had since you went to New York after?
No. Then after that, a teacher took pity on me and gave me a car.
Wow. A
Toyota. Really nice Toyota. Full-size vehicle. Loved it.
What did you get for your 16th birthday?
Oh, you mean the gift my Nana took to her grave? When she got my name tattooed on her arm for my birthday.
That was your 16th birthday,
that was
right?
for my 16th birthday, yeah.
I remember just like dreading becoming an adult. At a certain point, were you excited to get older, or were you like
at that age
fearing the loss of childhood?
When you're that young, there's a thrill in getting older, but you're never thinking about getting older than getting
18,
out,
yeah.
Right? I really looked forward to becoming a teenager.
Yeah,
you know, the
true.
Paris Hilton of it all.
I loved, and like feeling like you had choices about your own life. And like, I remember I got so excited by the clothes.
Yes.
Like the day that I was like, I'm going to go to Abercrombie. I'm going to shop at Hollister. Like, I felt like such hot shit.
Mine was Forever 21.
I loved Forever 21.
Forever 21. Yes, me too.
Now when I think about dragging my mom into dark ass Hollister where you can't breathe. You're like choking on the cologne.
The cologne, yeah.
The naked men in the front, which, well, you're welcome, Mom, for that one.
She's like, you're welcome for that
one. But like in hindsight, how fucking cringe is that?
It is.
And the expensive I remember my mom and my dad always be like, you're paying how much for jeans with holes in them?
I know.
I can put holes in your jeans.
Oh my God, how much did we hear? You got holes in your pants.
You got a hole right there.
Thanks. I did at a certain point sort of adopt that sentiment and was like, I'm shredding my own shit. And I did. I would cut up my jeans. And like, it's crazy. It was so funny. I would like take scissors and slit holes in jeans. Then I would take the jeans and go out on pavement and just like scuff them up. Because I was like, I'm not scuffing up my knees. And then I would just scuff them up.
And that's how you take a Walmart pair of jeans into a Hollister pair of jeans.
Exactly.
Was there anything that you look back on wearing and you're like, holy shit, like why did I wear that?
Yes, of course. Big ones are like, why did you think that was a shirt when that was a dress? With jeans, huh?
Let's say the red era visuals did some damage on me.
Did you do the hat situation?
Oh, I had a fedora. Mm-hmm. And I on homecoming court one year, I wore a fedora and a vest. No jacket. Button-down maroon shirt with a black vest and a fedora. Let's get a picture.
One thing I will stand by, I can't wear it now. Probably 10 years ago we aged out. But American Eagle had the best jeans.
Yes, I knew it.
American Eagle jeans.
They were like the only jeans that fit me.
They fit so well. And as a petite girl, like I to this day, it's like the ultimate struggle. I have to get every pair of pants hemmed or altered or
And I had kind of the opposite. It's like a really tall guy, but with a big ass and perfectly shaped legs and a thin frame and just like
and a third
bulging
leg.
muscles. American Eagle really delivered.
Yeah, it really did. And by the way, don't you feel American Eagle, Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch, Victoria's Secret, going to those stores when you are under the age of 17, 18 years old, that's the club.
Yes.
That's the club to me.
Definitely.
We're going to the club. The music that they're playing is going to inform the soundtrack of my life.
Hot people are there.
Are there.
It's so crazy how important it is to you to like signal that you're part of the in-group. Like now I think about what I wear and I'm like, I don't want a logo on anything. I want solid colored shirts.
But we all wanted a shirt that said Arrow.
We were walking billboards for these companies.
Yes, we
happily.
were.
And it was all so we could look at the kids who didn't have them and say, oh, Pori.
Knowing that
no one was rich. Did you ever wear perfume?
Victoria's Secret, of course.
Oh, I wore Abercrombie.
Oh.
Oh, Axe. No, ma'am.
Okay, wait, all right.
But I bathed in it. I remember every morning before school, my high school's name was Mitchell, I would make an M. Like 5 sprays to make the M. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it was all over me, and it smelled good. Like I liked the scent, and I remember like our other little teenager friends were like, "Ooh, Jake smells so good today." And all I can think about now are those adult teachers walking past us, gagging, like that clip in SpongeBob going through the perfume store, just like each kid to kid. The locker room just smelling like a horrible mix of sweat and like Axe and Hollister and Victoria's Secret and
another really big one when we were 16. I know this had to have hit where you were. Chevron, the pattern, like chevron, so
that was
ugly.
Huge. Oh my god, every
like a
prom,
pastel,
like homecoming, like that was everywhere.
Or like banquet or something that you'd have to do. No. But I was always finding somebody. Can I borrow a chevron dress, girl? And the gaudy necklaces, the
chunky,
beads, and they're like so chunky. Yeah, to me. The greatest piece of media about being 16 is a lyric from a song called Girls in the Hood by Megan Thee Stallion. And
you love Megan Thee Stallion.
I love Megan Thee Stallion. And I don't know how in 16 episodes I haven't gotten into how much I love Megan Thee Stallion. And right now, online, presently, there are people denying that she was shot, even though she was literally shot. And I want to remind everyone of this lyric and remind you who Megan Thee Stallion is and tell you that this lyric matters to me and it's significant to me. And it goes a little something like, ever since 16, I've been having a job, knowing nothing in life, but I gotta get rich. You can check the throwback pics. I've been that bitch. Tory Lanez, I do hope you get TikTok and can see this clip in jail. This has been fun, as always, huh?
I love you.
I love you very much. We'll see you next time.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And then, wait, no, a picture.
That's Taylor leaving the Eras tour.